Hi Scorpio, welcome to May. This is Teresa from Tarot by T. And before I start your reading, I want to call in some good energy. So this month we have a full moon in your sign on May 7th. And there's a new moon in Gemini on May 22nd. And your ruling planet Pluto has already started to retrograde as of the end of April. And in the middle of May, we're going to have Saturn retrograde on May 11th. And then, let's see, Venus goes retrograde on May 13th, and then Jupiter goes retrograde on the 14th. And so there's going to be a lot of rethinking this month and re-strategizing. And we'll get to that later when I get to your astrology. So in the meantime, let's see what Scorpio needs to know about love and relationships for the month of May 2020. What does Scorpio need to know about love and relationships for May 2020? What is coming up for Scorpio for May 2020 in terms of love and relationships? What does Scorpio need to know? Okay. The Ten of Pentacles. The Two of Cups. The Nine of Swords in the past. The Queen of Cups in the past. The Three of Wands coming up in the future. The Wheel of Fortune. The Seven of Cups. The Page of Cups. The World. And the Ace of Wands. Oh, this looks really good. Okay, so Ten of Pentacles. This is the wealth card. Okay, let me see if I can get it off the table. The Ten of Pentacles. This is like, look at the picture of this card. Here's the romantic couple with the child and the dogs. Like it's a card of completion. You're not wanting anything. You have found your soulmate. You have the Two of Cups here. You're connecting with someone that you really you have an affinity with. You have like this connection, this special connection. In the past, you have the Nine of Swords. So this is a card of worry. You might have been worried about someone being up at night. Your mind is racing. You can't stop your mind. You might have been worried about a health issue or worried about someone else's health. Or just, mental stress. This is a card of mental stress. When you start to imagine all these crazy things and you have all these fears pop up, it's always late at night. You're thinking, oh my God, what if this happens? What if that happens? Oh my God, oh my God. A lot of times with the Nine of Swords, a lot of the things that we are fearful of never happen. It's just your mind just, imagining all these possibilities. So don't worry. Don't think about the negative. Don't focus on the negative. Focus on the positive, because things are changing this month. There could be a new beginning, because you have the Ace of Wands here. But not only that, there could even be a new job coming up. But I think there's definitely love. Love is in the cards. Now you have the Queen of Cups. This could represent you. You're someone who's very intuitive, very spiritual, very sensitive. Maybe in the past, you could have been feeling a little bit insecure in a relationship, or feeling like lashing out. Like, I don't know, your emotions were all over the place recently. But things are going to be changing in May. And you have the Three of Wands here. The Three of Wands is a card of seeing the fruits of your labor. So if you've been working on something, whether it's a job or a relationship, and you feel like, I'm putting all this energy out there and I'm not seeing anything come back. I don't even know if, am I wasting my time? I'm not seeing anything. The Three of Wands is it's the ships are coming back with the harvest. You know, you're going to get news. Things are going to start to move in May. So if everything's been kind of on a hold, in a holding pattern, I think you're going to start to see results in May. And the Ten of Pentacles, I mean, you're going to be doing really well financially. If it's not about money, then it's about real security. It could be a relationship that makes you feel like someone has my back. Someone's there for me. This is a different type of energy. This is someone I can trust, I can count on. And the Wheel of Fortune, things are changing. And it could happen around the full moon. It could be that around the full moon, certain things come to light. And we'll get into that when I go to the astrology, but you might see certain truths may emerge that were hidden. And if you haven't heard from someone, you might get that message, or you might get that information that you need to make sense of everything. You have the Seven of Cups here, and this is in your negative thinking sector. So the Seven of Cups is about having multiple options and not knowing what to choose, not knowing what direction to go in. So it's possible like you're a little confused, or you've been confused. You know, do I stay in my current situation? Do I move into something new? Do I stay in this current relationship? Do I try to find something else? You have a lot of options. You're going to have to choose. You're going to have to make a choice. But you are moving away from this stressful time. And you have this Page of Cups here in your environment. That means someone is wanting to reach out to you. You could receive a message. And you could be starting, it could be the very beginning stages of a relationship where you're dealing with someone who's very sensitive, who gets their feelings hurt very easily, who's maybe even a little shy. So they might have been afraid to reach out, but I think you're going to hear from them. Someone's wanting to let you know how they feel. Maybe part of the problem, if there was a problem, was this person had a lot on their mind. So if it's not you, it could have been the other person. The other person might have been going through a difficult time. Maybe they had someone in their life that's been struggling. They were worried about someone's health. Because this could be a mother figure, maybe a mother figure. So they could have been connected with family, worried about the health of a family member. And so you're thinking, well, I guess I'm not getting anywhere with this person. But you're going to hear from someone, especially when Venus goes retrograde. That can usually bring people back that you haven't talked to in a while. And you've got the World here. The World is in your wish fulfillment sector. And that means that some cycle is ending. And everything is coming together. You're finishing up a cycle, probably around the full moon in your sign. Some relationship issue or some partnership, even if it could even be a business partnership, is completing or coming to conclusion or coming to the end of a cycle, and you're getting ready to move to a new level or a new cycle because you have this Ace of Wands following the World. Now, when the World is one of the greatest cards in the deck because it means everything coming together perfectly. You're doing work that you love. You're feeling like you're existing in a state of grace. You're really enjoying where you're at. And you have this new energy coming in, this Ace of Wands. It could be a job offer. It could be a new opportunity or new beginning that you're really enthusiastic about. So it could be a relationship, especially if this person confesses their feelings. If you get a message where someone's telling you how they feel, it could take the relationship in a new direction. But I feel like it's not just love that's open to you this month. I think it's also some type of business partnership or some new beginning in a career situation that's going to bring you money, and it's also going to bring you new opportunities. And you're going to start to see that all your hard work has paid off, and things are now looking up, and things are getting better. There are new beginnings. Because I think a lot of people, we've all been locked down with this virus. And when things start to open up, like the end of May, maybe the beginning of June, people are going to really be like wanting to flourish. I mean, things are going to just explode because, we haven't been able to connect. It's always like when you can't do something, you want to do it even more. So let's see what the astrology has to say about Scorpio for the month of May. So this full moon is happening in your first house. So the moon's in the first house, the sun and Mercury is in the seventh. Definitely you are going to hear a message from someone. Either that, because Mercury is the messenger, and it's conjunct the sun at this full moon. So if you've been like wondering, like, what the hell happened, or where, if there's a relationship, if there has been some kind of hidden information that you needed to know, or some confusion around a relationship, someone's going to reach out and you're going to have a message. Either that, or you could be connecting with someone who is either a Leo or someone ruled by Mercury, Gemini, or Virgo. But I feel like you're going to get a message from someone. Now, at the same time, you have Mars in the 4th house in Aquarius, and it's going to be squaring this moon, so it's a T-square. There could be some issues around home and family that are causing some problems. Either you're doing work around the house or you're working hard from home. You could be working from home in the month of May. There could be some challenges that come from the home. Or you just might feel like very energetic around the house, like you want to fix things up, you want to change your house, and you want to clean or you want to organize. Maybe during this lockdown you've been going through drawers and closets and getting rid of junk. But I feel like you've been really busy. So you might be busy with work. There's something that's going on around the house that's making it's a challenge to this full moon. So, you may not have the time to deal with this full moon stuff. So if someone calls you, you might be like, yeah, I'd really like to get together, but I'm really busy. I've got this project I'm working on at home, and I just don't know if I have time. Make the time. You can make the time. And you have Neptune in the 5th house. Neptune is in the 5th house of romance and fun and children and creative self-expression. So this Neptune is trining the moon. So you could have like some romantic encounter in May around this full moon. And definitely because Pluto, Neptune's also sextile Pluto, and the moon is in favorable aspect to Pluto and Jupiter in the 3rd house. That's the house of communication. There we go again. So if you don't get a message in May, I'll be really surprised. And then you have Venus in the 8th house in Gemini. And the 8th house, Venus is money and it's love. It represents, and the 8th house represents money that you receive, not from your salary, but through some kind of funding, like an insurance payout or an inheritance, or if you write for a grant or some kind of financial assistance. Those are all 8th house issues. So Venus there is very positive. It means like if you're applying for a loan or if you're looking for some type of financial support, it's going to come to you. The only thing is you have to be careful because Venus is squaring Neptune, and Neptune's in the 5th house. So there could be some issue with one of your children. Maybe they need financial assistance. They're going to come to you for money, especially if they think you're getting money. They might be like, hey, Mom, hey, Dad, can you help me out here? So just make sure that if someone comes to you wanting money, wanting assistance, that you're not, being taken for granted or taken advantage of. Like, make sure no one's taking advantage of your kindness when it comes to financial matters. The other thing that the 8th house is about is intimacy on a deep level. And Venus in the 8th can bring someone that really triggers your passion. You might have a passionate encounter. And you may be uncovering some, you may have to deal with some wounds around intimacy and overcome them. But definitely Mercury is sextile to Neptune, so I think you're going to be hearing from someone that you care about very much. And it could take the relationship in a new direction. So get ready. Then you have, so now we go into the retrograde periods. Pluto, your ruling planet, is already retrograde. It started on April 25th. And it's going to be retrograde until October. So you have 6 months to rethink your power and your direction in life, to reclaim your power. It's like taking a time out. All these retrograde energy, it's telling us to slow down and think about, what we're doing. And is this the right path for me? And is this where I want to be? And is this where I want to go? And if the answer is yes, keep going. If the answer is no, then you have to shift your energy. So Saturn will go retrograde on May 11th. And Saturn is, let's see, where's Saturn's in your 4th house? So you might be rethinking home and family issues. Like, do I want to live where I'm living? Do I want to move somewhere else? Do I want to put down roots? Are there any family issues I need to rethink? Am I being too rigid with my family? Am I dealing with family members that are restricting me? Am I too committed to my family and they're holding me back? These are some of the questions that you want to review while Saturn is retrograde. And Saturn will be retrograde from May 11th until September 28th. Then we have Venus retrograding on May 13th. And like I said, Venus is in your 8th house, and it's retrograding from May 13th to June 24th. So for a good month and a half, it'll be in your 8th house. So you're going to be rethinking your financial situation. Am I getting enough money coming in to support me? And you might be rethinking, how do I deal with money? What do I value? What about relationships? Am I really connecting with others on a deep level? Am I getting enough? Is this relationship superficial or is it really deep? How far are we going with this? Where is this relationship going? That kind of thing. And then Jupiter goes retrograde May 14th until September 12th. And Jupiter is in your 3rd house. The 3rd house has to do with siblings and relatives and communication. So maybe you've been if you've been talking too much, or if you've been maybe you're having some issues with your relatives, where you're telling them everything in your life, where there's some extravagance there. So maybe you need to pull back your energy. Maybe you're spending too much time with relatives and not enough time with friends and lovers, or, not getting out and about. You're just spending too much time with family or people that are familiar to you. You're not getting out of your comfort zone. So you might have to pull back. Maybe you promise too much to family members and you can't deliver. But Jupiter and Pluto, when they come together, it usually it's a wealth-making aspect. It's an abundance. But since the 3rd house is the house of communication, Jupiter expands whatever it touches. So you might be just going over the top, communicating. Maybe you're just telling your family every little detail about your life, and they're like, okay, we don't want to hear anymore. And with Pluto there, you might be coming on really strong and you don't even realize it. And they're like, okay, whoa, back up. We don't need it. We don't want to hear it. So let's see. And then we have the new moon in Gemini. And that's happening in your 8th house. So there could be a new intimate relationship, or you might have a new source of support, financial support. I think that the 8th house, that's the house that's ruled by, that Scorpio rules naturally. And it's about, dealing with your demons, dealing with the things, what's stopping you from being intimate? What are your fears around love, real love, intimacy, where you go deep with someone? You might be blocking it in some way. And you have an opportunity now for a new start with this new moon. The only thing is, and it's trining Saturn. So you could create something that lasts, that gives you a sense of, permanence. Especially with Saturn. At this point, Saturn will be in your 4th house. You're going to want to put down roots. Now, Saturn is still being squared by Mars, but Mars now has moved into your 5th house. Oh, no, wait, it's not squaring. Mars is squaring the new moon, I'm sorry. No, Mars is squaring this new beginning from the 5th house. So there could be some issues around children, or you could be, there could be some passion too. You want to make a new beginning. With the 8th house, it could be giving up addictions, giving up some bad habits, but this romance is tempting you, to go back, fall off the wagon or something. You have Uranus in, let's see, Uranus is in Taurus. That's in your 7th house. So your relationships are going through some major changes. Your relationships are going through some major changes. You might attract someone who's a free spirit, or you just need more freedom in relationships. You can't tie this person down. You also have Venus and Mercury coming together in the 8th house. You're going to hear from someone. You have all this communication energy coming out of the 8th house, and the 3rd house is activated. And the 5th house. The 5th house is the house of... So if you've been... It's the house of fun and romance and you know, children. If you've been working a lot and you haven't had a lot of time for fun to get out and enjoy, that might change in May, especially with this new moon. And you could be attracting someone that's going to really break you out of that, you know, someone you could really go deep with. The only thing you have to be careful of is that Venus will be squaring Neptune. And Neptune is in your 5th house. So you might idealize someone. I mean, it doesn't mean that this person can't be good. It's just that when you're going to be like gaga over this person, where you know, like they can do no wrong. And so with Neptune there, you want to make sure that you're seeing this person clearly, that you're not painting some face over this person and giving them qualities that they don't possess. Just be careful that you're seeing things realistically, that you're not taking things, that you're looking deeper beneath the surface. You're not just going by what people say, you're going by what people do. Other than that, it looks like there could be some fun times in May, and you could be connecting with someone that you could really have a strong connection with, and someone that could transform your life in some way and help you to maybe heal some of the wounds that you have around intimacy. So that's my forecast, Scorpio, for May. Oh, one more thing I wanted to mention with Venus retrograde, and just be careful that you don't go on a mad shopping spree when Venus is retrograde. You know, because you might be buying stuff that you like when the retrograde is on, and then when you get past the retrograde, you're like, why did I buy this stuff? I hate it. Or don't do any major cosmetic procedures or, you know, total makeovers. You can go and get, you know, your typical haircut or your typical, you know, buy your typical clothing. But, and especially if you're decorating the home, if you're working on your house and you're redecorating, wait till Venus goes direct before you make any fashion choices or direct decorating choices. Because you may decide that what you liked under the Venus retrograde just doesn't work anymore when it goes direct. Other than that, get rid of the worry, embrace love, get ready for the message, it's coming, and the new beginning. So I hope you enjoyed this reading, Scorpio. If you liked it, click on the like button, click on the subscribe button. For those of you who are new, welcome. I hope you're enjoying the videos. Thank you everyone for supporting this channel. Thank you for your comments. I love reading them. Thank you for ordering readings. Thank you for your support. Stay safe out there. Be healthy. And hopefully we'll get through all this craziness. And there's time for love though in May. So don't give up on love. And I hope you enjoy May, and I will talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.